Right guys, Dave Genvy again, aka Bad Boy Genvy, aka Satan. I'm the devil, the actual devil. Foretold I was coming, the Antichrist, all of that. Yeah, I'm Satan. Making another video now. They're more just to keep in touch with my daughter, really. It used to be that I could send a card to my daughter every 2 weeks, send her a letter every 2 weeks, which I did for a while. And then the court that's run by aliens, because this whole planet is run by little 4-foot grey aliens with their psychic powers, and they're the ones who design all our tech as well, like smartphones and laptops. They actually run the courts, they run all your politicians, they run the banks, they run everything. They didn't want me having a relationship with my daughter because they wanted me to be so upset my daughter was took off me that I'd, kill myself or do something stupid. But I haven't. And, no one's come to arrest me. No one's come to put me in nut house. I am actually Satan. And that's what my daughter needs to realise. I'm the devil himself. I work for God, though. I'm a good guy. So, yeah. Oil prices. Now, I've been telling everyone to put their money in crude oil, but you actually can't because you're controlled by these aliens. You've got this great reset coming where oil prices are going to go through the roof. That will affect the cost of everything. Because your whole economy runs on crude oil. Oil prices are beginning to go up now. And the reason is, I think, because you're running out of oil in Saudi Arabia. You've got all this war going on with Iran and Israel in the news currently. Again, it's just another story in the Middle East to explain the narrative of why oil prices are going to go up. And the people in power, well, it's actually the aliens, the people in power are blagging that Venezuela is rich in oil. It has 304 billion barrels, 18% of global reserves. Well, in Venezuela at the minute, they've got hyperinflation because the truth is, I don't think Venezuela's got much oil at all. It doesn't actually make sense for Venezuela to ever have had much oil because if you actually look on a map, Venezuela, if you go on a map here of South America, we're on a map here of South America. Venezuela's actually on the edge of the Amazon basin. The Amazon basin here. So the oil's going to be in the middle of the Amazon basin. But rather than go to the middle of the Amazon basin and disturb the Amazon rainforest, which we don't want to do because we've already damaged that rainforest enough, where we can find oil is under salt flats. And this is something the aliens who run the world don't want us to know. So we've been getting oil from Saudi Arabia, but there's plenty more oil on the earth, well, in under the ground in the earth. You just have to know where it is. And wherever you've got salt flats, you'll have oil underneath them, or possibly coal. Now, something else I've got to teach you about oil is coal. Coal is actually old oil. The aliens have been teaching you everything wrong. They're trying to make out that coal is, I think, made from fossilized trees that is, and it's actually younger than oil. It's not. What coal is oil that's lost its moisture. What happens with the formation of a salt flat is you get dead life in the ocean. Dead life Here we're looking at a salt flat here, the biggest one in the world. It's called it's in Bolivia, the I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a big salt flat in Bolivia. We're looking on a map, and this salt flat is just there. Now what you've got here is Bolivia, Pacific Ocean. You've got a lot of life in this ocean, and as it dies here, it rolls under the continent, and then as that dead life begins to turn to crude oil, it releases salt and water. We've got another example of it. That's a fully formed salt flat. We've got another example of it actually right by Jerusalem in the Dead Sea. In the Dead Sea, there's the Dead Sea. Got Jerusalem there, and here you've got the Mediterranean. Yeah, the Mediterranean Sea. So there's a lot of life in this sea here. It's warm, very warm, nice sea. Very hospitable to life. Dead life rolls under the continent, rolls under Jerusalem, and then as it dies and turns to crude oil, it releases the salt and water in that life to form the Dead Sea. Now eventually the Dead Sea will dry out and form a salt flat exactly like you've got over in Bolivia. The dead life rolls from the Pacific Ocean, rolls under the continent, collects, collecting like a basin, or collecting a basin under the continent, and life contains salt. Inside your body there's actually quite a lot of salt. You need salt in your body to conduct electrical signals around your bodily fluids. Without salt you wouldn't be alive. So life, whether it's ocean dwelling life or land dwelling life, contains a lot of salt. And also, I mean, my body is 2/3 water. That's something you should know. So as dead life rolls under here, it releases salt and water, which eventually form a salt flat. And that's exactly what the Dead Sea is. The Dead Sea is a salt flat that's forming, and under that salt flat is crude oil. Now this is something the aliens don't want us to know. We've got plenty of oil left, but unfortunately you're all controlled by psychic powers. Apart from my daughter, I think she's different. Me and my daughter aren't controlled by these psychic powers. So I can't at this point in time do anything. I'm sort of powerless to get you to sort of drill for oil in Bolivia, the Bolivian salt flat. There's other salt flats around the world that you could drill down under. There's Salt Lake City in America. You could drill under that. There's actually, if you actually put in Salt Lake City on a map, these grey aliens will run all your computers. I've even shown you where the oil is. So if I put Salt Lake City, go on Google Maps. So we're on Google Maps, Salt Lake City. So got the Great Salt Lake there next to Salt Lake City. This grey area, I think, will be a salt flat that's under the soil. Because what happens in deserts, because you don't get much vegetation growth in deserts, salt flats are very easy to see. Where you've got places where there's more rainfall, you get vegetation growth, which forms soil, which covers up the salt flat so you can't see it. We're going to have this issue, this great reset. You know, it's been talked about I think we're going to see oil prices going up quite significantly now. And I think you're only going to work with me, Satan, once, because I want to give you free energy. I've already done free energy at this house. It's quite simple how it works. So we can be less dependent on crude oil. At the moment, crude oil runs everything. We're totally dependent on it, and we need to be less dependent on it by using free energy. You still need crude oil to make stuff. I mean, the amount of plastic that I churn out of this house in terms of food packaging. There's plastic on all your food packaging. You've no alternative. You've got to package it in something. So you need crude oil for that. So yeah, that's a big pressing issue. If we run out of oil in Saudi Arabia, which I think is beginning to happen, you're going to see these oil prices really shooting up. At the minute, we're there at the moment. So not too high at the minute, but I think they're going to be going ever higher. And this story of Israel, Iran, you know, it's just to explain it away why it's happening, when the truth is just running out of crude oil. You know, the Israelis are just ordered by the Rockefellers, who are ordered by the Windsors, who are ordered by the aliens who run us to do this. And you say, well, why? Why would the aliens want to act this way? I'm still not fully sure myself why they act so terribly to us. Because they're trying to... I think what they want to do is create a type of human that's perfect for them in terms of war as a weapon, but a weapon that they can completely control. They don't want a situation where you have Dave Gemby as the warrior caste, having kids, forming more warriors, because they're not controlled by the psychic powers. It's such a ridiculous situation, because how can you be a warrior, a true warrior caste, if you're controlled by psychic powers of a 4-foot alien? It's just ridiculous. Obviously, the worker caste of humanity are just there to do worker jobs. So it doesn't matter that the workers are controlled by alien psychic powers. You're just there to do menial jobs. The warrior caste is supposed to be out doing the fighting. But these aliens now don't want to face their comeuppance, their punishment, because they've so mistreated the worker caste of humanity. Ludicrous situation that we're in. So no one's working with it at the minute, but I'm hoping once oil prices go up. I mean, they're not going to be up every day. Oil will still have down days on the price. But as these oil prices go up, hopefully you're going to eventually work with me, because you have to listen to me, because I probably will end up becoming a very wealthy man. And when I become one of the wealthiest men in the world, surely then you'll listen to me, and I'll be able to speak at big events like TED Talks and things like that, where you have to listen to me. Like if someone like Bill Gates, who's one of the richest men on earth currently, was to be talking at a TED Talk or some other big lecture that he's giving, you sort of have to listen to him, because he's one of the richest men in the world. You can't ignore him anymore. But thankfully I've found where there's more oil for you, because that's going to be terrible. As this great reset hits and oil prices go through the roof, it's going to be absolutely terrible. But I have got the answers of where you need to drill to get more oil, and also free energy. Those two things are massive. Another thing that I thought about is how we do recycling. Free energy is going to be, I hope, absolutely revolutionary for recycling. We'll literally be able to throw all our rubbish, whether it's metals, plastics, cardboards, paper, be able to throw it all into an electrical furnace that's heated by free energy, and you'd be able to get new products out the back of it. Because like in an oil refinery, what happens, we heat oil with free energy, you get the vapors at different temperatures, you get different vapors, which then make different oil products like diesel, petrol, and the liquids that we need to make plastics. So we get all the different products, and with paper and cardboard, they're just made of carbon, so they'll burn in the vapors that go into those oil products, because that's all oil is. It's just carbon. It's dead carbon life. It's like compacted, compressed down into a liquid, black liquid. As for the metals, say there's metals in all that waste that we've thrown, like tin foil and aluminium cans. They'll all melt at different temperatures, and any gases we get from them, we can pump back through the metals. So they're just collecting the metals. All these things, what I'm saying is all these different things, these different plastics and different metals, they all melt at different temperatures. So you just increase the temperature on the furnace to get the different products back out of it. And because it's free energy that's powering it, which I've done at this house. So I've talked about it multiple times on this channel, free energy. I'm the one who's supposed to give it to you, because I give you free energy, because I'm the Antichrist, I'm Satan. The fires of hell are powered by free energy. The fires under your feet, the centre of this earth, are powered by free energy. Same for the sun. You know, you look at the sun, that's powered by free energy. You call it nuclear fusion, but whatever, it's free energy, isn't it? You get free energy from the sun every day. So yeah, I mean, like I say, these videos are more for my daughter than anything, just to show your dad's still here. He's not been arrested. I know I can't write your cards very often now, because like I was saying earlier, I used to be able to write her a card every couple of weeks. These aliens that control the courts took that ability off me, so I could only write her a card a couple of times a year. Well, as it is, I can just make videos on this YouTube channel that are far better than any card that I could write to her. So I can just say what I want on here. And the same situation applies with my daughter. I keep saying, just keep your spirits up. It's all about staying happy. That's all you can do as a little kid at the minute. You just need to do that. And eventually, humanity will have to work with me, I think, because I can't be ignored, surely. At the minute, I'm just being ignored. I'm Satan. Yet I'm just being ignored by everyone. Everyone's just pretending the devil isn't here on earth. But even though everyone knows that I am, but they're controlled by these psychic powers, these aliens. But eventually, surely, once I've made a fortune in crude oil, then people have to listen to me, don't they? Once I've become stupendously rich. I mean, I want them to work with me now, but the aliens with their psychic powers won't allow them to. So the only problem is, by me making a lot of money in crude oil, that's going to mean the price of everything is going to go through the roof, and people are really, really, really going to suffer to the point of starvation and death. And I've been desperate to try to avoid that happening. It doesn't need to happen, because we've got free energy and we've got more oil supplies under these salt flats. So it's so sad that this is happening, but the aliens, who are scared of facing the wrath of humanity and the wrath of me, Satan, don't want to change anything. They don't. I mean, they'd prefer it, I think, if I was dead. You know, if I was to go out and kill myself or something, or jump in front of a bus or something stupid like that, they'd be really happy about it. But obviously, I'm not going to be doing that. So it's a shit situation at the minute. It really is. It's terrible. I suppose I could talk about more science in this episode. I talked about my new electric motor that you need to do interstellar travel. But I think I'm going to talk about anti-gravity first. Now, anti-gravity, believe it or not, is actually, I think, I haven't got this fully figured out. Free energy, I've got fully figured out. I've got a free energy working experiment in my house, in my workshop. And I've talked about how we can wire increasingly large step-up transformers together. I've got free energy figured out. Anti-gravity, I think I've pretty much got that figured out now as well. We actually already have anti-gravity with maglev trains. It's a big thing in Japan, maglev trains, where what they use is repulsion, magnetic repulsion, to levitate above the track. So I'm sure you understand how magnets, opposites attract, and same, like if you've got negative and negative, that repels each other with magnets. And that's how those trains levitate. It's just that. They're powerful electromagnets. The only problem with electromagnets is overheating. They have to be cooled down. Those electromagnets on the maglev trains in Japan have to be cooled down with liquid nitrogen. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, in a circuit of electromagnets, powerful electromagnets, you're supposed to wire in LED lights, believe it or not. That actually helps cool them down. And it's the truth. That's what the aliens do with their tech. They cover their spaceships in LED lights. They're little flying saucers. If you've ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that film, you see the flying saucers are all lit up on the outside. It's the LEDs are cooling the electromagnets on those flying saucers. You can do some research on that. You'll find an LED can decrease temperature in a circuit. And what happens, right? What we've got with these maglev trains, they are actually anti-gravity trains. They're lifted into the air. And the only reason the train doesn't go higher into the air is because the track, the magnets in the track, are bolted to the ground, believe it or not. It's the only reason. If the track wasn't bolted to the ground, it would levitate higher. I've tried to word it here. I've got a little diagram. I've got a little diagram of here saying, right, so we've got powerful magnetic repulsion there. Very powerful electromagnets bolted together, repelling against each other. That's what that's showing. And I've tried to word it. If the repulsive force between the two electromagnets is strong enough, it overpowers the attractive gravity of the Earth. The two magnets are fighting against each other. They want to get away from each other, but they can't because they're bolted together. So they have to keep fighting. This fighting force, the powerful magnetic repulsion, overpowers the more passive attractive force, gravity of the Earth. So that's how I've worded it, to try to explain it. It's like, why does hot air rise? Like hot air in a hot air balloon is like agitated by heat, and it wants to get away from the Earth, or well, rise up. And it's like the two magnets, when they're bolted together, powerfully repelling each other, they're in this constant fight against each other, want to rise up against the opposite force of the gravity pulling them towards the Earth. The only thing you need to do is wire in LEDs to cool the magnets, because they will get hot otherwise. So that's something that I need to go build at NASA. I've an experiment to prove it at NASA. But you're not working with me yet. I'm Satan, but you're not working with me yet. You're not being allowed to. It's frustrating. So that's anti-gravity. And then that magnet, that DJ motor that I described in the last video, that's for creating black holes. That's for doing interstellar travel. I'm not going to explain that in this video. I think that's enough for now in this video. I'm going to leave the video there. It's about 25 minutes, I think that video is. So yeah, that will do for this video. But I'll see you in the next one.